Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. Hello. All right. A little more professional here. Oh, how's everybody doing? Oh, you know we forgot to turn on? Ta-da! All right. How's everybody doing? Oh, this is the stream. The season's going great so far. We're feeling good. We're having fun. We're playing some Last Epoch. It's a good day. I'm still playing my Heartseeker. We are struggling desperately to find a bow that doesn't suck. What else is going on? Level 90. And you know, I decided I wanted to do a little bit of a Temporal Sanctum run. Just see if we can do it. I don't even know if we can do 95. We're gonna give it a shot. We may have a few prophecies that are sitting in here waiting for us to do some stuff at tier 3 Temporal Sanctum, and I want to clear up the space in my prophecy list. If this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you with us. I am one of the developers for Last Epoch, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Please put at Last Epoch Game in the chat, or at Last Epoch if you are in on YouTube. And I've got lovely Wick here who is collecting questions for me, and I'll be happy to answer them. And we'll get those started right away. Here we go. First one's in. How does the team approach adding new mechanics or systems without overwhelming new players, especially as the game continues to expand? Yeah, I think a lot of this is related to like how they're added in the campaign. I think this is one of the positives about having a campaign system still in the game as you like start a new league, start a new season, new mechanics get introduced. And we can start introducing things in the campaign and get people used to terminology and things like that right away. I think that's a big part of it. A lot of it also is just making things, intuitive and easy to understand quickly. And it's all about that depth versus complexity. This is, I know, kind of glossing over like a bajillion things here, but this is sort of the that core depth complexity conversation we have all the time about new features. You have a sort of a maximum complexity budget that you can put on players at any given time. And, as the game goes on, you can kind of expect advanced players and things you're tossing on in end game to be a little bit more complex and a little bit easier to just like drop individual features on players like that with decent complexity and have it be okay still because they're used to the things that already exist, and you get that sort of like shared language and people talk about it and help each other out. And so as time goes on, you can increase the complexity more without as many risks. Thought I might die there. We're okay. But we are adding more systems, and it's just about eking out as much depth from what complexity we are adding in. Because we want people to be able to explore things and try new things out all the time. And well, that's a T7 crit avoidance ring, isn't it? That is a almost max roll T7 crit avoidance ring. All right, do not hate that. Is that a gold ring, two ring? No, it's fire ring still. Oh, I just did it one. Of course, the stun chance is what went exalt. This was looking like it might be good if it rolled the right stuff. I wanted to try and pull that stun chance off of it. But I guess we can re-roll it now, actually, can't we? With the power of new runes. All right, more questions. I just also should mention we stream for charity. It's above my head. This is a wonderful charity right there. Everything that comes in from stream goes to there. All right. Hope you had a great week. I did have a great week. Thank you. I know Acolyte is getting a revision next patch. Is there a chance that other skills for Mage and Primalist we get a look at as well? Yeah, there's always. I mean, just because we're saying like, hey, we're gonna like focus on Acolyte next patch doesn't mean we won't like touch anything else. Like this season, we were focusing on Sentinel for the most part, but the only new skill actually came in for Marksman. So yeah, it's not like a one mastery only, but it is the primary focus is going to be on Acolyte. More specifically, I think Lich and Necromancer than anything else. I think Warlocks, you know, it has a bunch of it has a bunch of like threshold nodes, and it's still quite strong, all that sort of stuff. Can we get glowing highlights in your chest and inventory based on loot filter? Yeah, this is one of those things we'd love to be able to do. Currently, the stash system and inventory system is, I guess, not efficient enough in order to be able to actually implement loot filter like interaction into that system. So right now, no. But it is a cool idea. I do like it. So if you do want to see stuff like that, you know, keep bringing it up, especially on our like suggestions channels on Discord and stuff like that. It's a great place to stash stuff. And well, about a week ago, not a week, it was a few days ago, I don't know, rattled me hard. There was the biggest spider I've ever seen just like on my wall right there. And like every time I feel like just the breeze and the hairs on my elbow stand up or something, I'm like, there's a spider crawling on me. Nah, it was totally fine. My brief moment of panic a second ago, that's all. All right. I have a feeling Jewel's gonna just like smush us. I don't think I'm gonna like it. We'll see though. One request: can we have the ability to sell stuff to the vendor from inside the stash, please? Having to transfer stuff to the character's inventory and then go to the vendor to sell it is cumbersome, in my opinion. Yeah. We try not to put a huge emphasis on selling stuff in general, but I guess I can see the appeal there. Yeah. Oh, tickle me. Whew.
Escape is impossible.
Take it. Give me those prophecies. I want those prophecies. Rings, we'll take them. Yeah, we don't really care about that too much. +4 smoke bomb. We don't do hail of arrows, so we'll smash that. Cool. I probably freed up a little space for us, I think. Yeah, we got a few now. Can you tell I'm looking for bows right now? All right, is there any plans to do anything with old free items in Legacy Merchants Guild? It seems like there are a lot of them. I'd really like to clean up the Legacy Merchants Guild bazaar. It is, yeah, it's a little frustrating. I don't have a good answer right now. I don't have a like, hey, this is what we're doing for it. But yeah, it is a little frustrating seeing them there. They kind of just like take up wasted space. They're not really doing anything. If we hit a wall, I'm gonna try and fix my bow, but for now we're just gonna like Like this one's in like craftable range. Try and havoc that over. Let's see what happens. Okay. We're not doing really damage over time stuff. Not doing lightning damage. Doing bow lightning damage. Could be a lot better. Could be a lot worse still though. Let's see if we can chaos this out. Ugh. A crit multi is a terrible roll. Refinement. Much better roll. Okay, now is this an upgrade? Just on the numbers. It's a horrible downgrade. Why is that such a horrible downgrade? Because it prioritizes bleed and ignite so much. I bet it's actually not that different. Let's try and see what happens. We're gonna make something. I feel like I should just like put this. Dang it. There. That's what I want. Cool. At least have that now. Okay, let's go actually do some stuff that I can just talk through. Hey Mike, the game guide is absolutely silent on this. Uh-oh. Does possessed nemesis on the Weaver tree improve the nemesis mechanic odds of additional affixes, fortune potential, or legendary potential? It does not. It does not. It has no effect on that whatsoever. Good question though. How come we can't teleport back to a waypoint in the same zone we are currently in? There was a reason for this. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Because we actually tried putting this in at one point. I think someone had to change something. I feel like it's one of those like it's on the list things. Why are we finding so much cool stuff? Ugh. Love it. Love finding cool stuff. All right. But yes, I would being able to warp to the same zone you're already in would be extremely useful. Maybe even just be a UI thing at this point. Backend may have fixed it, and UI just may never have updated the ability to try. That's a lot of melee crit chance on that spear. Glaive. Can you give me some tips on how to get 2 empowered monoliths? I do good during normal monoliths until I get to the dragons, and then I get one shot. How to improve my character for corruption? I mean, I can give you like really basic tips and short, like quick stuff here, but like the best thing is probably like getting advice on your build from people in like the specific channel for that character, for your specific character would probably be the best way. I think something that people often prioritize a little too heavily is resistances, weirdly enough. They are very important, but like the difference between being at like 70 resist and 75 resist isn't that much of a difference in damage you're taking. And sometimes getting things like your critical strike avoidance capped is much more important than getting the last little bit of resistances capped. Diversification of your defenses, so having like some like if you're not building ward, getting some endurance in there, that sort of stuff, like even and little bits of armor help a lot too. Like there's a lot of little things you can do to increase your overall survivability, and just health is always super useful. Like I do not have anywhere near enough health. Any chance to add an ore into the loot filter to be able to create rules like idols have two of two affixes or one of X different affixes or similar rules. Maybe. Part of the problem with the loot filter and the detailedness of the like specific affixes that like how does it is possible to create rules in the loot filter system that are not performant, and the loot filter can start to cause lag, which is really bad. Like we'd rather have we'd rather have the game play really smooth, and you maybe have to check 10% more items rather than have the game lag a bit, but you never have to check an item again type thing. So there's a few things we've done in the loot filter system to make that happen and stay friendly. So like the 75 rule limit is there because of that, and that's something that we get asked for quite a bit. We have been trying to expand the capabilities of the loot filter to make it so that you can get more functionality in fewer rules and still have it be performant. And so if this is something that does end up being in that category, yeah, we'd be happy to do it. I even hit a potion, but I guess I did just slightly too late, or I was stunned or something. Let's go here. Yeah. Do you plan to make any changes to the Merchants Guild to make it easier to check prices and so on? Yeah, getting a price check in the price check tool is on the list. It's something we've wanted to add in since day one of the Merchants Guild. It's not a trivial thing to do. One of the big problems about having a price check tool is that if it's off, it can cause it causes problems, and the people that it causes problems for specifically are new players, because if someone has like a price check tool and they price check something and it's like, oh, this is worthless, or this is, you know, just it's not really worth selling type thing, you can quite often have people who just throw away gear that they could make a lot of money off of if the price check tool is not functioning properly, or start listing things way too high if the price check tool is not functioning properly a different way. So it's one of those things that we do want to do it, and I think it has the potential to do more harm than good if it got LP on that, nice, if it has issues. So we're cautious about it. We want to make sure if we do release one that it is rock solid. But yeah, I'd love one. Right. Frankly, I think that's one of the main reasons I play Circle of Fortune, not Merchant's Guild. Like, because I used to do a lot of, like, I played a lot of Diablo 2, I did a lot of trading stuff, but part of that is, you know, after I don't know how many years of playing that game for I don't know how long, and you learn the price of things very clearly, and so you can trade with confidence after you get ripped off by that guy who put a chipped emerald in a regular cap as he switched out the trade because he had to make room for all those runes that I was putting in the trade. My first check. Never mind. Well, what do you think the potentially changing the guaranteed slam to T3 or T4 jewel? Oh, like make T2 not guaranteed slam? I think it's pretty hard to put the genie back in the bottle, and once we've already had it on T2, it's really hard to switch it. It's because the functionality would still be there, it's not impossible. I don't think it's causing any major problems. I think especially when you're still doing tier 2, and tier 2 is like the lowest you can do still. It's, you know, I think it's at that point where you're probably slamming just one LP items anyways, and that's when it has the biggest impact, when you're just getting single LP items, and that's when you really need it the most, I think. I think it's unlikely, but it's possible. Hello. Just popped out of nowhere, didn't you? Back to nowhere you shall go. Can we get a notification icon near minimap for when we sell an item in the bazaar or how many prophecies we have left? That's a cool idea. Just like a little like UI, like a HUD indicator when there's something that's happened that you should know about. Yeah, I mean, all these suggestions people have, like, I'm happy to comment on them and give you my thoughts on them and that sort of stuff. If you really want to see any of these actually put into the game, the best way you can get your ideas added to the game is by going to these suggestions channels that we have set up, specifically Discord, our forums, places that we have said like, hey, like we've set out a suggestions box, like, hey, come give us suggestions here. This is the place that you want to be putting these things. I'm happy to chat about them here and let you know my thoughts on them, give you some feedback, that sort of stuff. But ultimately, if you ever want to see any of these get actually put in the game, that's the place to put them, because that's where we like will go and like collect these ideas, and then we'll sit down in a game design meeting and be like, hey, we've got these ideas from the community. What do we think about them? Type thing, you know, that sort of stuff. So, all right. Is that what was just there? Why is it? I guess it wants me to shatter it. Must want me to shatter it. We've got to get a cemetery here because I want to start slapping in some. There's a cemetery. We've got a couple. We've got a couple of these we still haven't done yet. Get some Weaver tree points. Yeah. Yeah, just one that was expected. That's fine though. I think we should try and kill a Harbinger before we ride off this bow, but I don't know if it's actually any better. Hi Mike! Could you guys please put a prophecy filter where you can specifically target the prophecy you need to show up so you don't look at the icons one by one? Really enjoy season 2. You're talking like in here being able to like filter this? Not really sure what category you mean in this, but yeah, like it's funny because I was looking through this recently just before the stream, and I'm like, I was like, maybe I could have some sort of like buttons along the lines of in the timeline web. There's the like the search and sort, the filter buttons where it highlights the ones that you want. I was thinking something like that might be good. Alright, I feel like I want to stay in one echo a long time for extra content, but also their objective nature motivates me to do them fast. You think it's time to remove objectives or rethink that concept with more and more content in echoes? I think it's good to have a push and pull of like, hey, I want to do this because it gives me X, and I want to do that because it gives me Y, and I can't do both simultaneously. I think that's a really good thing where you're actually having to make decisions on what's, well, like for efficiency, if you're going for efficiency, but if you're not going for efficiency, you can do different activities based on what you like to do with those activities. Nice to havoc pick up there. So yeah, having, I don't know, I think I actually like that being a thing. I can understand why it might not be super appealing. Maybe there'd be some way to like put in an element with like a weaver's tree or something to, like, I don't know, let you specialize in one type. So if you're like, oh, I really like doing one specific type, having a way to, like, I don't know, you no longer get rewards from echoes, but you get double drops in echoes or something like that. I don't know. I think something like that might be cool. I'm really I've got a some pieces to switch this to the fire version with burning daggers, and I'm really considering switching to the fire version with burning daggers right now because I'm just not finding the gear that I need to make the physical crit version work. Computer, I apologize. I do not know what your I just saw something that says canceled request to join. I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. I did not see a request. Please come on in. I don't know what would be stopping you from coming in to watch, but yeah. I don't know why I'm talking to you if you can't get it. I'm confused. Sorry. Any plans for making Harbinger needles stackable? Maybe give them their own idle slot in the middle. We've talked about that. I think it's. I think this is again one of those things. If it's kind of nice having having it take up a slot in your actual idols. Like you're giving up a little bit of extra power in order to advance things faster. But because you've given up that little bit of power to advance things faster, it also it like proves that you're ready for faster advancement a little bit faster. That makes any sense? I do think there's a lot of potential for the idle layout grid. Chance of the Heartseeker, yeah, it's not a good helmet. More stuff. Ooh, don't die. What was I saying? The layout. So the idle grid. Actually, underneath here, there are an extra 5 slots there that do exist, and it's literally just a sticker that's sitting on top of the grid. That's just like, nah, you can't click there. That's it basically. There's some stuff in the way that stuff gets placed to make sure you can't put stuff in those slots by like mucking about and putting stuff on overlapping nodes and stuff. But yeah, it is reconfigurable and how we could use that space. And I would really like to at some point adjust how we're using that space. I think there's a lot of room for cool stuff to go in there. I do love just using this to dump here in the middle of an echo. Okay, do we have any uniques that are sitting here that we can just slam? Because we're just looking for the slam. I don't want to get hung up on this. Sure, this one. Why not? I like bows. Why not, eh? I know that I'm doing a cemetery. I swear. All right. We only have one a little bit higher on corruption right now. This is the only one that we've actually increased our corruption on, but I do want to start pumping that up a little bit more. And I think I'm getting close to being able to do that. Right. Who came up with the Giant Bear? Love it. I know most of you know, so brief story time just in case. The Giant Bear is a type of bear found in the game which teleports. It can teleport. And Ja'ith Bur is are the 3 runes required to make the rune word teleport or enigma that gives you the ability to teleport in Diablo 2. So it's a little nod to the classic original overpowered item in RPGs. I'm sure there was one in Diablo 1 as well. I'm not quite that old. Who came up with that? That was probably Holly. Probably Holly. It's that's. I don't know if it was that may have been something that was just like someone made as a joke in the middle of a design meeting, and someone's like, I can slap that in and just did it, or it was just Holly. But that's been around for a very long time. It even has the runes. They're not the same runes, but they're similar runes as like a visual nod carved into the side of the bear's fur. So much damage coming out. Hi Mike, and happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Can we please get a map icon for tombs that is different from the flashing different to the flashing circle for echo objectives? I've seen this one a few times in the last couple days. Yeah, it gets me too sometimes. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I feel like just like a different color even, like it doesn't have to be huge. But yeah, having it be the same is a little confusing. I agree. It's also a little unclear. Sometimes the objective can be inside, and you're not quite sure if it's like just pointing you at the tomb or pointing you inside the tomb. So I definitely feel this one. Let's just go. Let's just go. Got our chaos bolts rolling. We don't want to waste them. All right. More questions. Mike, keep answering questions. Don't play the game. What are you doing? Any ideas to allow interclass gearing? Do you mean, okay, so yes, we have lots of thoughts on this. I guess the question is, what do you mean? I think usually when something like this pops up, it's specifically about, like, can other classes than rogues use bows? Is kind of the main thing that comes in, I think. Matt Shiro, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you. And yeah, like getting bows onto other classes is, oh my god, yes please type thing. The other thing that comes up, that used to come up a lot with this, was getting specific attributes like strength and dexterity, attunement, intelligence onto different classes that didn't have those attributes in their base class affix pool for their respective like helm, chest, and relic slots. Like the class specific slots there, and so that's one of the reasons we added the recent woven echo that allows you to convert those in there already. As far as like being able to, there's not a lot of applications left, I think, other than like getting bows onto non-rogue classes. And then there's also other things of like getting abilities from other classes on like getting abilities across classes through items. That's I think probably the more likely place we'd look at something like that. Yeah. Who knows at this point though, right? We kind of just want to do these. I don't really think I have much to put in them at the moment. But like, you know, this re-rolls everything. I kind of want to put it somewhere that we've done stuff. The most? I think it's the most. Sure. Okay. Go give some of these a shot. Nope, this button. I know which buttons to press all the time. Okay, so we added 3 things. One of them's here. Yeah, okay, let's do this one first. Will poison dot be addressed in the next season? Trying to run acid flask, but the damage falls off late game. I don't want to comment specifically on like potential balance changes coming up. I do think that it is whoa, okay, let's be a little cautious here and not waste this. My goodness me, this may have been a horrible mistake. Also Heartseeker with the rogues. Oh, this may have been a horrible mistake. The rogues, the exiles, because they do not target nicely. Maybe we can do a couple. Not even close. Oh, Exaxes! Funny. All right. Well, you know what? We've died twice now, so I think I owe you a little something, something. A little something. This will drive some conversation a little bit here. I've been being asked for some stats, for like Aberoth kills, or Uber Aberoth kills specifically. So here is as of last night, sometime last night or this morning. I don't know exactly when it was the snapshot was taken, but recently. Here are the total number of kills by mastery of Uber Aberoth, and this is the total number of kills by mastery for everything. So this is across hardcore, softcore, solo account found, solo character found, seasonal, legacy. This is just everything. Every single character that has killed Uber Aberoth in the game since it came out. This is all of those kills right there. Mina, thank you very much for the raiding party. Welcome everyone who's coming from there. Glad to have you here. Hello. We've just got some stats. Lovely, lovely stats. This way. It doesn't reverse the direction of your camera. So usually if you're on like a video call with someone, like if you're on like Discord video call or a Skype video call or a Google Meets or whatever, it flips the video you see of yourself is a mirror image of the video that other people see of you, so that you can so it makes sense to you, but they're seeing the real version of you. Because so you're looking in a mirror, but they're looking at you, and it doesn't do that on Twitch because it's trying to represent exactly what's being displayed to everyone, and it gets me every time. I still haven't rewired my brain. But yeah, so Void Knight is crushing everyone on those stats. Not surprising. Falconer, Paladin coming in hot too, and then it's a huge drop off a cliff again. Beastmaster, Necromancer, Marksman, Lich, and then it trickles down into the single digits pretty quickly after that. So yeah, there are masteries that are not, and I think a lot of this has to do with how popular the mastery is as well. So power drives popularity, and popularity can drive these numbers quite a lot. So yeah, it's and so I saw someone say, I'm surprised VK and Paladin isn't swapped. I mean, VK is the most popular, and so I think that's what's driving that overpower here a little bit, maybe. Yeah, so this is, I think also some questions of if this was even possible on some classes. Here's proof it is possible on every single mastery to do Uber Aberoth. Clearly not very easy on some of them, and a lot of them don't have like solo account found or solo character found kills. Almost none of them have solo character found kills. I think a lot of that is just, once again, there's not a lot of people playing them, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'll leave those up in the corner for people to be able to reference if you want while we're doing this. And I'm gonna just see if I can get my ass kicked again. Seems like an appropriate thing to do, right? might just have to be a little bit more cautious. They're tanky. This is the first of this. Obviously, you know this because you saw me put it in. But this is the first of this. Echo that I've done on this character.
Too easy.
And so I'm not exactly sure how well she stands up to all this. But we're going to be a little bit cautious because I'd rather not reset this a bajillion times. And I want to get it done because I want that Weaver Tree point. That was the one that got me last time. The ability anyways. Let's try two. Let's do two. Yay stuff. We did too. It was tricky. All right, will there be a way to get more specific data for skill calculations in the game? Like, do you hover over a skill and press like K and then you get more something, or is this poison base damage, X poison increase, X damage over time, X, etc.? It's very specific, but won't that be something interesting to see how exactly damage scales? So yeah, this is the character sheet rework question. We've been planning a character sheet rework for years now. With specific data on how specific character or specific abilities get bonuses from what you have. All that sort of stuff is stuff that we have planned. I do not have an ETA on it. I'm sorry. Love to do it. It kind of keeps getting pushed back in favor of like specific features for the patch. We're like, okay, we're gonna do it this time. And then we're like, okay, but we need a ton of UI work on this feature, and we need a ton of skills work on that feature. Okay, we'll do it next time. And like that's been the cycle it's been going through for a couple years now. But it is definitely on the list. All right. Can we get a modification to the Weaver's Tree to allow us to socket idols for farming? Why did we not do this? I think this is one of those things I'm like, I know there was a good reason for this. I remember there was a reason for this. What was it? Oh, Mike. Moving on. I think it's possible to get some of those on there. I do not have a solid reason off the top of my head. I can't remember why we don't have them on there yet. We usually keep idols in sort of their own box for mechanics. They don't really fall into the same category of item acquisition, item hunting as other things do. So we kind of want those imprints to be idols. I think that if we were going to do something like that, I would like to see it be its own imprint slot, like add a new imprint slot to the Weaver Tree for it instead of allowing it to be used in the existing imprint slots. I think that's where I would do it. Yeah, let's should we just drop a bunch of these in here and just see what happens? I mean, nothing's gonna happen, but right? Why not? Random stuff, go. This is Prism Wraps is an interesting item. It has incredibly high legendary potential level for a level 5 item. Oh yeah, this is the 2 LP one of these. I wanted to keep this. Forgot I had that. Keep that. Sure, snowblind. Let's get some belts in there now. Some rings. Yeah, a bunch of rings. Nothing. My day is ruined and my disappointment is immeasurable. Can we just do quick? Oh, we can't do quick add. Really? Can we do quick add from here? Yeah, we can. Let's nope, wrong ones. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is taking up so much time. I'm sorry. Oh, come on, Mike. We did it. We conquered it. We did cool stuff. We got a point. That's all we cared about. I can't remember where I was going. I guess I'll fill it in later. Let's answer some more questions. Are we going to have a blacksmith faction in the future? Maybe. We've kind of put a lot of those things into Circle of Fortune already. So I think it's unlikely we'd be planning on doing a big change there. That's right, isn't it? Did I accidentally switch that somehow? But that's not a bad... it's bad, Bo. I think the factions, if we were going to add a new faction, I think it would probably be focused around... like new mechanics that were coming in. So there would have to be like a blacksmith theme to those new mechanics and things like that. Okay. Come on, Mike. Figure your crap out. Is the Gravedigger Champion's name an Ocarina of Time reference to Dante? Looks familiar. I don't think so. Damphy Dante. Damphy. I don't think so. But like, that's one of those things that it's such a like huge cultural touchstone for like gamers, and as we all are, it's yeah, not a bad shot. Not a bad shot. Is the imprint mechanic intended to carry over fortune potential and faction tags? Yes, it is. It rerolls. So the faction tag carryover is just yes. The fortune potential, it is it will reroll the fortune potential within a similar range. Oh my goodness, my preview window is freaking out. Is stream okay still? My face is like twitching back and forth like a demon. This is insane. Okay, cool. This is horrifying. As long as the stream's good, we're good. Let's keep going. I'm curious as to who thought the idea for the unique necklace called Mana Guide. Was it led to its creation in game? I gotta like get all these like who made this question and like whose idea was this questions and actually like find the answers to them, because I don't know the answers to all of these. So many unique items. There's kind of like 3 ways that unique items kind of come to be. Someone will have an idea on the team and we've just got like a unique ideas channel in our internal communication, and someone will just sort of like slap an idea up there, and you know there'll be a thread made about it and we'll talk about it, and you know like it'll get made or it won't. Other option is like supporter uniques, and another option is there's a mechanical need for something specific in the game, and we say okay, we need to have like we're building some system and like, okay, we need a unique, there's no item coming in, we have to have a unique that goes with that item. And oh, I don't know what that was. I'm finished reading that question. Keep reading the question back, sorry. And I don't remember the rest of the question because I didn't fully read it before it got deleted. Sorry. The third way items get created, yeah, and yeah, there's like some need, like, yeah, we're adding Heartseeker. We need a Heartseeker unique. Let's find some way to put that in that's interesting. I don't know the origin story of Mana Guide specifically. I'm sorry. I was not involved with making it. Oh, it's the best thing you've added to your Lightning Stork. Never taking that thing off. Yes, it is very good. Thank you for bringing that back, Wick. I appreciate you.
I cannot be contained.
Ooh. We need some more health in this character. I think we're missing a little bit of bulk. Loving the season. Was wondering if you guys are planning any changes to snapshotting in regards to minions. Yes, we are planning to make changes to snapshotting with regards to minions. It's kind of a weird thing. It's not something that I would consider a bug because it's working exactly as we expect it to. It's sort of in this category of unfortunate side effect of not having the ability to stop it at the moment. We've been sort of doing little things to help it for quite a while now. Like when you transition a zone, it resets the snapshotting. And then Falconer came along and we tried a whole bunch of new things for testing ways to fix snapshotting. For example, one thing you may have noticed, may or may not have noticed, when you have your Falcon and you use an ability like a Featherstorm, and it's like it's there, you can see it, it's like shooting all the feathers down in a big circle. If you look at the minimap, the icon disappears for it in that time because it's not actually your Falcon there. The Falcon doing Featherstorm is just VFX. It's not the actual Falcon pet game object, which the minimap icon's associated with. So you can see when we are resetting the Falcon snapshotting by looking at the minimap icon. We do it a few other times too, but that's one of the times we do it. Anytime the Falcon disappears, basically anytime the Falcon like flies up into the sky and just disappears off camera for a second, and it's just normal attack patterns, we reset it then too. And so we're looking at other ways to do this with pets that don't have the advantage of being immortal and literally vanishing off screen and still being acceptable that they vanished off screen. But yes, snapshotting with minions is an important thing that we want to deal with, and it's less of the fact that it's like it's less of it being like, hey, this is an overpowered thing, we need to fix the overpowered thing. It's more of a, hey, this isn't not really a fun mechanic because it's tedious and boring and you have to pull items on and off your gear as you're like going into new zones and new fights, and it's not a fun mechanic. It's not a fun thing to do in the game. It's tedious and it feels weird, and it's clearly not part of the way like you're supposed to play. And then you get all these questions of bugs and is it cheating or not? It's not cheating. It is using an unintended game mechanic. So I'd encourage you not to use it, but it is legal if you want to put it that way. Oh, I am Godor. I missed you. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. And NPL Academy. Welcome, both of you. Appreciate you. Let's keep playing a little bit here. How can you see? Ooh, how can you see what woven echoes you've already ran when you look at the echoes on the faction vendor? You can't. They cost a lot, and buying them is very aimed in the beginning. Yeah. That's a good point. We don't have a way of doing that. The only way you can see if you've run them or not yet is in this window, and if you don't have one, you can't see that. And that's a great call out, and you should please put that in the suggestions channel on our Discord so that we put something there so it is visible. Ice Beetle! Got my favorite cache. Ooh, boots! My Weavers will. Ooh, 2 LP. We'll take it. Sorry if this is asked already. That's okay. But you have plans on being able to save like Weaver's Tree layouts so you can switch between them easier or not have it set up on every character. We've generally shied away from having like set loadouts for things that you can easily switch back and forth. We're not huge on the vibe of like switching these things frequently in general. So like this applies to, you know, like passives and skills and gear sets and all these things that you're like building out your characters, blessings, all these things like idle slot or idle organization, all these things that are like around like basically everything that shows up in this panel. And then I guess now Weaver's Tree panel as well. All the things that show up in skill trees, all that stuff. It's stuff we're not huge on having them be like recordable and quick switchable. It's not to say it's impossible and we won't ever do it, but it's a hard sell. All those things are always a hard sell. I would, just for the record, I would not put stash tabs in that same category. That's definitely different. So that's just an organization thing. That's not that doesn't contribute to gameplay in any way. Come here. Yes, good. Oh no. Okay, we survived. And that's a lot of set items. Being like, oh, I might switch to the fire damage build. Okay, game, I hear ya. Can we get anything better with the minion damage though? Void damage. Oh, and that. Nah. Down to 1. That went from had room and just fell off a cliff. Wasn't expecting much. Let's do another one. Just because I don't want y'all to have to sit around and watch me sort stuff, but I want to sort it for later. I'm actually doing pretty good this season on it. We're getting there. Do you want to push out to the side? Let's push out. What are your thoughts on streamlining Monolith to empowered progression, making it a seamless transition with corruption rather than separating it as it is currently? I think having these milestones is really important. So having specific points in your character's progression and journey where you're saying like, here's this challenge to overcome. I overcame it. I'm now at the next tier of things. I think that's a really important thing to have. And I'm not personally interested in getting rid of that. I do think we do get a significant amount of feedback. Or I shouldn't say significant. We get a not insignificant amount of feedback about difficulty spikes going from regular monoliths to empowered monoliths, and I think a lot of that has to do with the sort of like image that like it almost feels like normal monoliths is like the end game tutorial, and empowered monoliths is like the real end game system or something like that. And I think that image might be the worst part right now. But I do really like having those difficulty spikes. And this might just be the like back in my day, talking. And like I'll bring up Diablo 2 again, and that spike from like, oh, you beat Nightmare, and then you step into Bloodmore, and a zombie just whoops your butt. And you're like, what happened? I just killed Dahl. Nope.
That was close.
So yeah, I do like those difficulty spikes happening. Spikes might be the wrong term. Small jumps might be too big at the moment.
They won't forget that one.
But I think having it be a just a straight curve of like you get into monoliths, you're in the end game, and your corruption is the difficulty scaling number for the entire thing, and there's nothing else. I'm not a huge fan of that personally. I think if we were gonna do something like that, I'd be advocating for like take a 0 off of all the corruption numbers, and make the what corruption does much more significant per point. Just there's that like little bit, like having stepping is really good. I think the steps can be too big, and they might be too big, but just having stepping at all I think is important. This is something that we are paying close attention to, and it is something that gets discussed quite a bit in general. I tried so hard to get this one removed. It's the only shrine I don't like. Just answer a quick question. Let's just take a second to answer a question. No. I'm having a moment. Leave me alone, monsters. Are there prophecies to farm Weaver idols in COF? No, I don't think so. Shoot. I don't know. I don't think so. I feel like someone told me it was supposed to be, but it was bugged or something. I think there should be. But I don't think there is. Like, I think theoretically there should be, but I don't think practically we've ever tried to. If that makes any sense. Gimme, gimme, gimme. All right, how do you decide what to put in patches? Oh my goodness. How do we decide what to put in patches? When something kills us, we just nerf that thing that killed. No. Is it just whatever you're working on, or is there a focus on some things? I mean, so it depends. Yeah, like this is an unbelievably open-ended question. I think it depends a lot on like how big that patch is. Like if we're talking like little patches that are dropping, like little hotfix patches, once the major patch is out, a lot of that comes down to urgency and like scope of the players that are being affected and how bad they're being affected with bug fixes, things like that. Like that's kind of the main thing. It's like, okay, there's this bug that's making one player's life frustrating, or there's this bug that's making literally every single player in the game have their life be frustrating. And we're gonna focus on that one where it's hitting every single player in the game rather than just one player. Then we'll get to the one with just one player after that. But the things that get prioritized are the things that are wider in scope of what they're affecting of the player base, and then also how bad it is. So if it's something that's like 10% of the player base just can't get in the game at all, versus 100% of the player base has to click an extra time to get into the game, we're going to fix that 10% can't get in at all before we fix that 100% has to click one extra time to get in, or something like that. Like, so it's and that's like a bunch of people's jobs is literally prioritizing and delegating tasks for how we put in things like that for these patches. And as far as for like bigger scope patches, I mean, that's like the whole like season 2 patch, like what everything that, all the features that went into that's like months of planning. And it's like that's getting planned way out and ahead of time, and then we always leave space for like I don't know how to answer this quickly because I don't have a ton of time to answer all these questions. Super long format, but like if you have we we usually want to have like a core through line for the main event that everyone's going to associate with the patch, and then specific changes we want to mechanics that are already existing in the game, specific changes to existing like classes and masteries and things like that, and we'll usually get things in those main categories, and
Easy. Too easy.
I think a lot of it comes down to like how much time do the people who are going to be working on those things have. So it's like you've got 10 people and each one of them is good at one thing, let's say, just like oversimplify things, and you've got 20 really important things for person A and you've got one really important thing for person B.
Too easy.
19 important things are getting left behind, you know? So sometimes we end up with situations, I think that's maybe where this question is coming from a little bit. Sometimes we do end up with situations where there are things that seem like they are much more important that are getting left behind, that aren't getting worked on. And I think a lot of the times that happens because, especially when you can see other features that are clearly less important that are getting attention. I think a lot of times that just has to do with who's available and what other thing, because those two features that you might be comparing, like this one's really important to have in and this one's much less important to have in, but this one made it and this one didn't. Like, why is that? I think it's because they're not in the same like pool of resources that are going to get allocated to it. In order to evade more every once in a while. Free damage. Alright. Nope, it's that key. My hand is one off. That's why it was weird. Oh, you know what? I died in there at some point, didn't I? I keep forgetting I'm supposed to do this. I don't actually have that much stuff today. I feel like I'm dying a lot. If you wanted to break down the stats a little bit more, and you wanted to see exactly who's killing at Uber Aberoth with like legacy and season breakdowns and solo account found and solo character found, here's that. Make it a little bit bigger for you, actually. Fit to screen. A little bit bigger. I do think it's interesting. You've got the one person on Falconer has done it in solo character found, and like there's a few standout individual performances there that I think is if you're one of these people, well done. Impressive. Impressive. Do not have enough space to keep this one on screen though, so I'm going to turn this one off completely. I'm going to keep going. Hi Mike. Hello. Loving the patch. Me too. Any thoughts on more options to convert skills to different elements? For example, Infernal Shade to Necrotic. Yeah, I think elemental conversions for abilities is a quite popular mechanic that we do try to we try and put them in. It's something that gets people excited about it. It's something that it does have a fairly high development lift to it, so it's one of the more difficult things to put in time wise. So like if we were saying like, oh, this ability now can shred armor, that's something that I can do in a minute. But having something that's like a fire conversion for an ability or something like that, or necrotic conversion for an ability, like that includes sound, VFX, the skill design team, balancing, QA. Like there's so many things that get involved with doing that because there's so many more moving parts that we can't do them quite as much as we'd like to all the time. It's like just the other day we were looking at an ability and plans to the future, and we're like, in the brainstorming document there was a lightning, poison, and fire conversion node suggested, and we're like, wish we could do all these, but because of what it is, and this one in particular is really hard to convert because it's a really hard ability to convert in general, and so we're like, okay, we've got to pick one of these to pick. Which one of these element conversions are we going to do? Because we just don't have the resources to do all of them right now. And maybe we'll do another one later, slap it in an item or something like that. But it is something that we have to prioritize which ones we're doing. And then on top of that, we also don't. We try and be really intentional with which elements we do conversions as well, just because. If everything's every element, then the theming of your build doesn't really matter that much, because you're like, okay, I'm going to be let's say Heartseeker could convert into literally every element. And Puncture could convert into literally every element, and Flurry could convert into literally every element. And then it's the element that you're playing doesn't play any role in your character's identity, really, because you're just playing a Heartseeker Marksman, or you're playing a Puncture Marksman, or you're playing a Flurry Marksman. It takes away the identity of the abilities somewhat. And so like a lot of debate goes into which conversions each ability is going to have. Matching of, I think that's one that's going to have capitalization help with it. It does not. It's all lowercase. I don't know how to pronounce it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for the sub. And I apologize for butchering your name horribly. Try one more time if you want. Majin God V? Majin God 5? Is that it? Is that, huh? So bad. This is my kryptonite. Reading. A true ARPG player. No, I'm just kidding. All right, moving on. More questions. Got him. My experience tells you, Jag. All right, any plans for making defenses better for every class? Right now, besides Sentinel, the other classes' defense depend on red rings and uniques like Null Portent. Sometimes you are fine doing maps and some insane enemy pops up and kill you, making things very unreliable. I think it is. So it's funny. We've go back a month, and this question would be literally the exact opposite. Every class I'm totally fine except Sentinel. I just get one shot and it sucks. Like that. I think I had that exact question just inverted a month ago type thing. And so we may have swung the pendulum a little too far back the other way. But yeah, this is the sort of thing that we are very close to paying attention to, and we'll definitely be looking at for season 3. It is very important. I do think it's appropriate that Sentinel has the most natural defensive tools, but the total survivability, like the total potential for like max power content should not be so lopsided. Like the numbers we are seeing for who's defeating Uber Aberoth and how high performing Sentinel is in general is overperforming for what we'd like. It's great to see it doing well type thing, but it's the sort of thing that we would like to see. Let's put a smoke weaver in there because someone's coming to kill me. But yeah, I think there's definitely room for improvement and balancing on that front. Absolutely. What do you think of the idea of you guys showcasing a build a week? Showcasing a cool interaction or unique build. PoE has had this before and I found it really cool. We do this every month. We release an Ethereal monthly post, which so not build of the week, we do build of the month, but similar. And yeah, we do this. There's April was a cold Heartseeker build by Trickster. Thanks for that info, Wick. I did not know that off the top of my head. Appreciate you. And Maybe I'll switch to the cold one instead. My buddy's doing a Fireheart Seeker build, a little bit different style, but maybe I'll do cold just so I'm not doing the same thing. That's why I kind of haven't switched yet. I do have some of the items too. Might be playing Cold Heart Seeker next week. We'll see. Anyways, what was I talking about? Monthly posts. Yes, yeah, we do monthly posts, builds in there. Love it. I think it's great. There's also a lot of content creators that do like really great builds and post them all the time. So like, I knew it. I could have walked away. I don't know why I wouldn't. I'm just like, I'll be fine. Cool. You're getting shattered. Deal with it. Nope, wrong one. You're getting shattered. Deal with it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sometimes you just want to smash stuff. We need a little bit more. Should we try the Rune Prisons again? Lightning res is low, but not crazy. Our Fizz res is really low. When did that happen? We were so overcapped on Fizz res for a long time. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Our gear's not great. It's just my fault. That is no one's fault but mine. Playing with a minion army is fun playstyle. I've enjoyed it in most ARPGs, which isn't currently good in this game. Aw. It's better to use one minion and buff it up. Any plans to look at this? I mean, we're always... I think historically, minion builds have been incredibly powerful in last Epoch. They might not be the cream of the crop right now. I think sometimes it's... You know, it can be a little skewed on... I think there's a really common tendency in ARPGs, and not necessarily just even ARPGs, but like RPG style games in general, of like the Ricky Bobby approach. If you're not first, you're last. I do know that specifically Necromancer and Lich. A little bit more so Lich than Necromancer, but definitely Necromancer and Lich are getting significant attention next season. So I'd be surprised if there wasn't something there. And we do often look to the lower power options for room for buffs. Have you considered adding an option to hide the helmet? Yes. It's funny, that's actually why I wear this MTX, because it's the closest thing to hiding the helmet you can do in the game. Because I'm right there with you. I love hiding the helmet. This is just like the least invasive helmet option in the game. So I like being able to see the face a little bit. Put in the suggestions channel, please. And I say that because I want it to happen, not because I want you to just stop talking about it or something like that. I want you to keep talking about it. People are asking how many hours I have in Last Epoch. I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer. The first time I ever played Last Epoch, technically, was... I mean, it wasn't even called Last Epoch at that point, but the first time I ever played the game that eventually became Last Epoch was in August of 2017. So it's kind of hard to put a number on it, really. And most of the time that I play now is in the, like, we have two clients, like there's two entries and there's two games on Steam, like, and so like when I'm testing, I'm always playing on the other one. So basically if I do like how many hours in the live client on Steam, does this? Do we? I know we added commands. I don't remember which commands we added. We didn't add a slash plate or anything, did we? Oh, just like how many on the Steam client? The Steam client has it, doesn't it? My last Epoch playtime on the Steam client is 1,177 hours and a half hours. So not that much, really. A lot of that is streaming. I'd say most of that is streaming, actually. Oh. Okay, we want to show off some Steam hours on some other games here. That isn't even all recorded. See if I can find one that's really high. This one should be high. That's tiny. Why is it so low? Oh, okay. I've got to install this to boot it up just to play it a little bit longer. Just to hit 3K. Got to do it. I know that's way. I think it was like an old Steam account that I started it on or something, because that number should be way higher. We used to play Civ 5 in this house I lived in with 3 other guys, and we like put a computer in the middle of the living room on a coffee table, and we'd play Hot Seat Civ 5 local multiplayer. Where we would we'd like one person would play, and then we just like rotate the screen around the coffee table, and like the wireless keyboard and mouse, and have to like spin the monitor back the other way when we go, and it would like the live political negotiations that are happening, because it's one person's turn and the other 3 are like having policy discussion about like that was so much fun. Love that. We used to do that with Heroes of Might and Magic 3 as well. I haven't seen those guys in forever. All 4 of us now live on different continents. That's wild. Okay, anyways. Any chance for stash priority quick copy? Oh, I'd love to. Love to. There's a bunch of stuff at the stash that I'd really love to do. I'd really love to. I think priority quick copy is like the like lowest lift option. I'd rather do something a little bit more in depth with it, like having a templating system, having a way to save your layout system. I think is the real key feature that's missing for that. Are there any plans to make Reaper form for Lich behave more like a Druid transformation? By that I mean replacing all of your skills with a new one. No, this is there are no plans to this. It's not to say we're completely forever against it or something like that, but this is one of those things where we try really hard to give, like, class identity is a really big pillar of our game design philosophies, and I think that, you know, we spend a lot of time trying to make sure that each mastery has a feel and a vibe and mechanical difference and all these things that like make it unique and make it where you can really tell like what you're playing. And Acolyte and Primalist have so much overlap. So this is one of those things, like, it's little things like the elemental spells that Primalist has compared to Mage are focused around weather and nature, whereas the Mage ones are generally focused more around the player creating these things from like arcane magics. Meteor being the shout out example of not bad. Which Meteor being on Primalist or Mage was a debate that raged for months. And it's just too iconic to not be on Mage, I think was the final factor there. But remember that for the future. And it's not being taken off Mage, don't worry, but just, remember that. Anyways, so like Acolyte and Primalist are the two primary minion and shapeshifting classes. So keeping their functionality interesting and unique and feeling different is really important. So we do really try to make sure that when they do share a mechanic like that, that their mechanics are distinct as well. So the Druid shapeshifting has thanks Wick. Druid shapeshifting has the specific, like all your ability bar gets replaced completely and your mana gets replaced with rage, and the like that's one way. And then Lich, it's that just one ability gets replaced and you can't die, but you're always draining health. And these, like, we tried really hard to build the feel of the class into these mechanics and have them really play differently as well. And so I think trying to make one of them more like the other is pretty unlikely. I could see something like that maybe happening in an item or something like that. Maybe like you transform and the first ability slot on your bar gets changed as well because you're holding this item or something like that. That would be cool. Or like when you transform, like the item changes what reap is. So reap doesn't go in your bar, but something else goes in your bar instead of reap. I like that. But yeah, so there's, I think there's room for new things happening here, but trying to specifically make Reaper form more like Bear form or whatever is unlikely. I've been using WASD this whole season. Awesome. Glad you're trying it out. Hope you're liking it. It seems pretty good. Oh, it seems pretty good. Cool. That's kind of where I was expecting the reception to be. It seems pretty good. What kind of improvements are you looking to do with that system? I mean, so there's a lot of things from animation to control to just like interacting with like all the left click woes that people have. So there's lots of people that are they don't want any movement on left click at all, being able to like split interaction and left click apart from each other, which is just a reasonable thing to ask for. We just didn't. Most of us don't play WASD, I think. I think that's part of the problem, is that we don't have a ton of experience, a ton of depth on the design team for specifically WASD players. We're like so much more now than we ever have before in the last 6 months. But I think a lot of us are still acclimatizing to it as well. More targeting options. We're modifying the animation system to allow for earlier interrupting, which really plays a big role in WASD. So one thing you may notice if you're playing PoE2 is the example of, I think, like WASD built from the ground up. Like there's never been a public build of PoE2 where WASD wasn't included in it, because it's like, so initial version it's there in development, where we're kind of trying to tack it on after the fact. And so you get a lot of things in their functionality that would be really nice to do, but we can't really just slap in. So things like even when you're on keyboard and mouse, you see it too. Like it's clearly functionality that was built for WASD that applies to both. So if you're playing a bow character and you start the action of a shot and start walking, it will continue that shot action and have you walk backwards slowly. And that type of feature would be great to be able to add. It does change it changes the balance and the feel and of so much, so heavily, that I'm not sure we have the bandwidth to even attempt a change of that magnitude type thing. Kind of want to rebuild every ability from the ground up with that in mind, which would take forever. But we are doing some stuff with animation to make canceling abilities earlier a lot easier, and having them just look a lot better while you're in WASD and using them in general. I'm really pumped about those things actually. So you'll have to wait and see for those, but there's some great stuff in there. Early videos look awesome. Great job, animation team. Hey, look, some health. Can we craft that into something useful? Unlikely, but we're gonna try. That's a lot of health, actually. That's a 1 away from perfect health drop. All right. Okay, so are we going to just try and chaos this into something good? Just roll the dice and get lucky? Mana regen. Not what we wanted. I know it can't. But I wish it could remember what you had before. I guess I should have re-rolled this one first. Void damage. Oh, great. Okay, can we just like... We're just hemorrhaging forging potential here. This has got a burnt stat anyways on it. And a bunch of health already. We're not actually getting that much health by doing this. And I'm losing a ton of resists. This is not going to come out on top for us. We'll use that later to slam onto a belt to get the great T7 roll affix off of it. Probably not going to do that. I know you guys are generally against mid-season nerfs, but what about mid-season buffs for class underperforming? We've actually never made a comment on mid-season nerfs or buffs. We've said mid-season changes, I believe is the term we used, or mid-season balancing. We don't plan to make any changes one way or the other right now. COF search bar when? Like when you're in the, I don't know which search bar do you want? Do you want oh, come on, Mike. You want in the prophecy page or in the observatory? I'd love it in the observatory. I'd love it in both, actually, what I'm talking about. Thanks, Wick, no problem. Love the game, but the controller still feels rough in the UI. Any plans on improvement? Yes. Every patch comes with UI improvements for controller support. It is something that we are working very hard on to make feel great. The goal is for you to be able to start last Epoch, or for you to, how can I say this? For you to, here I go, got it. For you to boot your computer up in big picture mode, which is the like Steam's I've turned your computer into a console mode. Start last Epoch from there without ever touching keyboard and mouse. Play through with your controller and never touch keyboard and mouse and be very pleased with your experience. That's the goal. That's the dream. Just like no keyboard and mouse required at all. And we're close. I think there's still some key things that we're missing. And we're getting away, like, so there's still that fallback virtual cursor that happens every once in a while for UI that's not completely finished yet with regards to that. And we're really trying to get away from that being a thing so we can free up that free up those buttons for being able to use with other functionality. But yeah, still working on it. Oh, I have teasers. Oh my gosh, we're so close to the end and I have teasers. I brought stuff to show that's not just stats. I brought season 3 teasers. Yeah. Yeah, they're already here. Do I do it now? Just in the middle? Yeah, let's do it right now. Here's the first one. It's vague and no one knows what it means. But here's a season 3 teaser. It's an early concept art of something. Pew, pew, pew. All right, when are we getting fire version of Mana Strike for Spellblade? Flame Rebuild. Offline status in social when? Like, okay, if you're in like full offline. Oh, like I see what you're saying. Being able to like go into your social menu and be like appear offline. Yeah, that was my one request when we were setting that up. I was like, I demand this. I don't actually demand anything really, but jokingly said it that way, and it never got added. I was quite frustrated. I agree. The UI's there. I built that UI for it. It's there. It's sitting in the background doing nothing. When are we getting a fire version of Mana Strike for Spellblade? Probably never, because we've got Firebrand and Flame Reave already. I'd say it's very unlikely that we'll get a fire version of it, but it's possible, I guess. Upcoming changes to Necromancer. Any plans to add UI to view minion stats? Oh, I'd love to. I wouldn't get your hopes up on this one, but it's on the dream board. Right now, it's hard to compare minions to see the impact of gear or on stats like HP, armor, and resist. I fully agree. It is very difficult. Keep hope alive, but don't expect it. Hide this here for now. Got another one too. Don't worry. Maybe we'll try the Exiled Mage Horde again, and I'll get my ass handed to me one last time. In the world of Atera, which would be the true master of death? A necromancer with 1,000 bone minions swarming, or one towering 1,000-foot abomination stitched from thousands of corpses? I think the 1,000 individual minions would be the true master. Being able to sway that many minds individually, simultaneously. Hey, we got explosive trap that we'll never use on this character. Oh. Okay, now I've really struggled with Harbingers here. This is great timing. Okay. We're gonna go for it. It's gonna end horribly, and I'm totally okay with that. I want to upgrade this. This is part of the problem. I need to give it a shot. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. We'll see what happens. I am likely not going to survive this. Get everything off my screen I don't need. Do I have any information on primordial uniques or a broad focus area for the future of the game? Nothing specific. I can't talk about anything with regards to that at the moment. I'm sorry. Come on, Mike, focus. You can do this. Okay. It's not over yet. Oh no! Oh my god. My brain just flipped. It wouldn't work. Not bad. Okay. Here it is. This is the actual exciting one. Unique icon for prophecies, please. Currently, a lot of them use the same ones. Main offender is armor versus body armor. Yeah, that one's bad. I agree. We need new ones there. Cemetery monsters feels like jumping 100 corruption inside the cemetery. Is monster health in there intentionally way harder than normal monsters? Yeah, I think it's important, but not like it is intentionally harder, but not maybe it's too much. I don't know. It's supposed to be harder. Pit fight between all the harbingers. Who wins? I think it's definitely one of the big ones. I think it's Lagan. I think it's the big Lagan one. That one's big, isn't it? I can't remember which ones are big, which ones are small. But definitely one of the big ones. It's one that always gets me. Lagan is small. Oh. One of the big ones. The one that I just fought. It was I've got it. It's definitely the one that I'm fighting right now. It's absolutely the hardest one. There's no question about it. The thing that I'm doing is the hardest thing possible, and it's definitely the worst. Yeah. Rare enemies. Okay. Let's get one more shot at it, right? Thank you. I always do this. It's like my calling card. Leaving stuff on screen that shouldn't be there. Got about 15 minutes left in the stream. Got a few room for a few more questions here while I try and beat this boss, but most likely it beats me. Any plans to make pets pick up gold and affix shards? Or at least an option for it. We don't have plans for this at the moment. It's not impossible. We don't have any plans for it. This is one of those things, and I always just have to say this just in case. If we ever do that, everyone would get a free pet. Anyone who doesn't have, I think pretty well every account has a pet at some point now. But if there was an account that didn't have a pet for some reason, we would make sure that account. I don't know why I empowered that. I should just banished it. We would hand out a free pet for everyone, just and they'd be functionally identical. So none of the fancy pets would have new functionality for it. All right, are there plans to update or bring some life into old and unused uniques? Yeah. I think it is interesting because there's only room for so many uniques to like be popular at a time, really. I think. And because a lot of the fortunes of how popular a unique are often tied to the abilities that they are associated with. And you're only really gonna ever have, because there's like some abilities do have really high similarity. So like, if there's like a unique that was really good with puncture and another unique that was really good with flurry, I think that you're very, very unlikely to see both of those uniques ever being popular at the same time. Because one of them is generally going to be a little bit more powerful than the other, and whichever one's a little bit more powerful than the other will get played 99% of the time compared to the other, that sort of thing. So, I think we do see that uniques go in a bit of a cyclical thing here, where things come and go in and out of favor, and we try to, if there's like there's naturally a little bit of power creep that happens regardless, and I think that we try to when we can bring up some old ones, to especially ones that we think will synergize well with new content that's being added. God, it's doing that demonic thing. I don't know how to explain it, but like it grabs 2 frames, and it always grabs a frame where I'm looking to the side one way or the other, so my face is just like flicking back and forth of looking sideways and looking forward. Would it be possible to get the Tombs white marker on the monolith objective white marker made to be different? Possibly. This is the 3rd question I think today about this. I saw a few and asked the devs too. Toss us in suggestions on our Discord channel, and there's a much better shot at it coming in. I just turned set items on because I still want them all right now. Hey Mike, thanks for the stream and answering questions. You're welcome. We're almost done here. We have about 10 minutes left. Is it normal for hammer throw to be deleted when hitting a wall? Yes. Been playing that build indoors of the echoes, and it's not fun. Very frustrating. Is that intended interaction? Outside of buildings, the hammers will go through a lot of obstacles without disappearing. Yeah, there's there's a lot of things that don't break hammers and a lot of things that do break hammers. And it's not just hammers, it's basically any projectile. Hammers actually have 2 colliders. They have a I'm gonna hit enemies collider and a I'm gonna break on colliding with the wall collider. The one that hits enemies is way bigger than the other one. So it's really just like if it makes like a really solid connection with something big, that's when it breaks itself. And yeah, it doesn't do great in small enclosed areas. But I think that's, and as we get even more variety of content in the game, I think that is really important to have spaces where your ability shines and spaces where your ability doesn't. It gives better, I guess, usage for split builds where you're not just focusing on a single ability only. Okay, do we bother with the Harbinger? One more try. That helmet any good? Where is it? Is it being here? Not anything that's jumping out at me being super good compared to what we have. Recent pickups. Any plans to add a little title for killing Uber Aberoth? No, but I do like the idea. Having like I did it. I mean having the items is kind of that a little bit in a way. Like you have a drop trophy from that. Oh. Talk about health. Worth a shot. I think this might actually be better. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to take the points out of. It might actually be really important. Let's see what it takes the points out of. Yeah, duration, armor shred. area. That's not terrible for us, actually. Legion damage. I think I took points out of there, these two. Might be better even though. Says it's way better. We don't want that. We want these two. That's what we wanted. We're just gonna give it a shot. See what happens. Any plans on being able to inspect other players? Would love to. I don't think we have any specific plans at the moment. Inspecting is one of those things that's tricky. It's like some people are like, you can end up with people that are situations where they really don't like it. Like being able to be inspected. But it is a nice tool, I think. Okay. Sorry if that was loud. Come on. Gotta be able to see you. Don't want to get too close. Just keep moving. Oh, come on. No! Oh, I didn't die! Yes! Oh, thought I was dead for sure. Oh, none of those are good for us. Oh, all right, sweet. That was very close. That was very close. Let's actually pick some stuff up instead of just walking away. Grab some of these, why not? Oh my gosh. All right, sweet. That feels good. Oh, that feels good.
I'll be honest.
We've peaked. It's happened. Let's go look at the door. When you get here eventually. Hi, dragon. Oh, I think we're just gonna relax. We got 4 minutes left. Thanks, Wick. Feels good. Let's answer a couple questions here. Relax a bit. We've got these eggs. Let's bring up some stuff that we had on screen. These things. Why not? What's all this stuff? Where'd it go? Where'd it come from? Eggs. Unlock. Come on. A little bit bigger. A little bit of info. Any future where upheaval skill numbers or mechanics can be brought up a bit? I love the primeless ground slamming idea, but I think it falls behind a lot of other skills. Yeah, there's I think upheaval, we've positioned it in an attempt to be kind of a setup skill to go with earthquake if we can, and it doesn't really work that well with it. I would love to see like a more upheaval forward version, because I agree, I'm right there with you actually. Any chance you'll be able to use cosmetics in offline mode at some point? Oh, I'd love to. This is the frustrating part about doing these streams, is that there's so many of the questions that I'm like, yeah, wouldn't it be great? I want to do that as well. I think someone's working on it. I hope someone's working on it. I don't really know. I'm sorry. The new voiceovers for mobs are great. Addition, were they made by EHG devs? I think we have like proper voice actors to do that, because there's a big I know I want to voice something still in the game. My voice is nowhere in the game yet. I want it to be. My face is in the game. I don't know. It's on the backpack. But I'd love to have my voice in there somewhere. And you need better audio recording stuff. Like I've got a decent mic, but it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And the people we get to do actual like voice acting for stuff have proper recording setups. So that's a big thing holding back a lot of people from recording voice lines for the game. Thoughts on spawning the player inside Tomb and Cemetery when entering such a designated echo? I mean, the doors are literally on the echo web already. I mean, the way that those systems and zones are spawned, because the way the procedural generation system works, that wasn't an option for us. This is the like procedural generation. This is the first time we've had procedural generation in the game, and it was the options we had for it are very narrow. So and we did that to try and reduce bugs and to make it run smooth and that sort of stuff, which pretty pleased with it overall. Like there's definitely room for improvement, but like shout out to all the people that worked on that. They did so much work on it. I'm very, very happy with how it came out. My goodness. But yeah, I think we'll be exploring new ways to leverage that procedural generation system for new content in the future, and that might include directed into it instead of as a side zone. Because right now all of them are side zones. It's the only way. Is it possible for an exalted item to have nothing but tier 7 affixes? It is technically possible, but I really wouldn't get your hopes up on that. So yes, it is possible for the game to generate a 4x-T7 item. I think now because of some of the tools that are available now in Nemesis and all that sort of stuff, I think it's possible to get like 36 or 35. Is 35 the highest? 35 would be the highest. Obviously not 36. Maybe we'll go higher one day. That's why we did the affixes starting at 1 and going up to 7. Actually went up to 5 originally. Was because we wanted there to be a way for it to, if we're like, oh, we need to add another tier, we don't have to like add a tier 0 and a tier -1. It has the downside of not knowing if you're at the top yet, which is the big advantage to having tier 1 be the best. So it's give and take. Are you going to release a new roadmap? Yes. Do I know when at all? No, I'm sorry, I don't. And on that terrible disappointment, it is time to end. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll be back same time, same place next week with lots of cool stuff to share. If I did not answer your question today, I apologize. It was not intentional. Please head on over to our Discord into the Acid Devs channel, and I'll try to answer it there sometime. When I get around to it, I usually come in and try and answer as many as I can all at once, and then I disappear for a little while. And yeah, hope you guys have a great time. Let's see if there's anybody streaming we can go say hi to. Oh, I know who's in the middle of a subathon. Oh, we haven't said hi to since we launched, I don't think. See if he's doing something weird. Probably. Has he ever mentioned anything about animation canceling? We do have it, but it's a little bit limited right now, and we are looking to expand it with the new animation systems I was talking about earlier. See you later. Bye.